Hey everyone, thanks for joining our webinar today, our Feature Friday demo. And wait just a couple seconds, and I think we're almost at the hour. Yeah, here we are. So hi everyone, thanks for joining our demo today. This is our Wholesale Feature Friday series where I show you something about Wholesale, a new feature, or an overview of things that we have in the app. And we do a kind of constant Q&A through these sessions, so feel free to use our chat while we go through I go through our demo today. Today I wanted to do a little bit of a more casual overview of Wholesale's integrations. We've spent the last year and a half adding a lot of integrations to Wholesale, and I wanted to share with you what those are and what they can do, how you can connect these different pieces of software to Wholesale to make it easier to run your business with more software connected together. So at that, we'll jump right in. I like to start with a slide about what Wholesale does and what it is for folks that may not know. If you're joining the call and you haven't used Wholesale or seen it before, Wholesale is a serialized piece of inventory management software, and it's designed specifically for folks that buy and sell used phones. So if you're buying and selling used phones and using spreadsheets or some other kind of manual method to keep track of your inventory, Wholesale is built for you and should make your life a whole lot easier. It's a tool that has all of the standard inventory management and tracking features that you'd find in other inventory apps, but it also has the capability to connect to different e-commerce channels and allow you to sync your inventory quantities and import your orders from those e-commerce channels. So we see a lot of people selling their used devices on various e-commerce sites, and Wholesale makes that really easy to do. And then at the center of Wholesale is this idea of IMEI scanning and tracking and fulfillment onto orders, which is unique to most inventory systems. They don't typically deal with IMEIs kind of from the ground up, but Wholesale was built for device resellers, so it does that really well. And since Wholesale is a web-based system, you use a web browser to log into it. Wholesale is meant to be accessed from any place in the world at any time. So it keeps your team on the same page. If you've got various team members that are trying to access your inventory information throughout the day, Wholesale makes it super easy to access all of that in one place and kind of improves communication across your team, and also just makes it simpler for each person to be able to see information without asking each other or having to communicate over text and stuff like that. So that's what Wholesale does. Today, I'm talking about Wholesale's integrations and which Wholesale integrations are available. So the thing that we've been building the most is these e-commerce integrations that you see here on the left. And so Wholesale has a suite of different e-commerce integrations that make it possible to connect your inventory that's stored in Wholesale to your e-commerce channels that you're selling your inventory on. And it makes that synchronization really simple and smooth. And then Wholesale also has additional integrations that are meant for more business processes and processing that make it easy to import or export inventory information or information about orders and invoices and stuff like that. So I'm just going to walk through each of these integrations. Again, if anybody has any questions through this presentation, please let me know. We can stop and talk about anything as we go along. So the first integration that was in that list is our ShipStation order import integration. And this is a neat integration that kind of allows Wholesale to connect to any of the sales channels that are out there that integrate with ShipStation. And so while Wholesale has direct integrations with Backmarket, Swappa, eBay, and a few others, we have this integration with ShipStation that allows any integration or any channel that you've got connected to ShipStation, you can import those orders from your channel to ShipStation and then ShipStation back to Wholesale. So if you've got your Shopify site, your BigCommerce site, your WooCommerce site, your Amazon store, those kinds of channels and stores connected, or maybe it's a more unique or esoteric store. The ones that I named just now were pretty big ones. If you've got a unique store, but it connects to ShipStation, you can automatically import those orders from that store into Wholesale. So you don't need a direct integration to that specific piece of software. We can use ShipStation as this man in the middle situation. So that's a pretty neat integration. We can import any order that you have coming into ShipStation that can get brought into Wholesale automatically. The caveat to this, though, is if you're trying to manage your listings on whatever store you have the listing quantities, those quantities will not get managed automatically by the ShipStation integration. This is only an order import integration. So so it can import the orders and you can fulfill the orders and it will synchronize the shipment information back to the channel, but it will not import the wholesale. It'll not allow wholesale to manage your order, your inventory quantities as they're going up to that channel. So that's how the ShipStation order import works. And next, we're kind of moving on to our standard e-commerce integrations. So these are integrations that wholesale has built in-house to connect to these various sales channels and marketplaces. And the next one that we have up is the Swappa integration. So we have actually a few different Swappa integrations. We have an integration that ties into Swappa's standard marketplace. If you've ever sold on Swappa or bought on Swappa, you're probably used to dealing with their or utilizing their consumer marketplace. That's really great. But they also have introduced a new marketplace called their B2B exchange. And the B2B exchange is designed, I think, more for wholesalers that are buying and selling bulk quantities of used phones. And so Swappa just introduced that within the last few months. It's a really neat platform that allows you to buy in bulk or sell in bulk. And so the integrations from wholesale make it really simple to sell on both of these marketplaces that Swappa now operates. And so you can easily export your inventory from wholesale to list on Swappa, and they have a staging area where when you export your inventory information, you can see that on Swappa, create listings out of it. And then once you've created those listings, when you have orders that come through, your customers buy your listings, those orders will automatically import to wholesale. And when you fulfill those orders in wholesale, they'll automatically, all your fulfillment information with the shipping tracking numbers and whatnot will export back to Swappa. So a really smooth interlay between wholesale and Swappa for your standard kind of sales order flow of things. And then for the B2B exchange, Swappa has done things, they've kept it a little bit more loose in terms of how strict the process of creating an order is, because things in the wholesale world and then the B2B world kind of happen more on a fluid communication. And it's less of a structured e-commerce deal. It's more of a deal where you're trying to decide on price and details with a customer that's buying in bulk from you. So Swappa has really built a system around that process. And so what the integration with wholesale and Swappa's B2B marketplace does, their B2B exchange, is it will passively kind of just consistently update Swappa. You can choose which inventory you want based on its status, its location in your business, the different types of inventory that you have. You can choose that from a list in wholesale, and wholesale will automatically talk to Swappa's B2B exchange and keep sending a list of what your current available stock is. That'll get posted on Swappa's B2B exchange automatically. You don't have to manage any of the listings or do anything yourself, which I think is a really powerful tool for anybody that's got a very busy business environment that they're running. And since it's not as structured of an e-commerce platform, what's neat about that is you get offers from buyers. So somebody can come in and see on Swappa what inventory you have listed in what quantities, and they can submit an offer. That offer doesn't necessarily pull your stock away and commit it to them. It just they're sending you an offer. You can look at that offer and then decide whether or not you want to put an order together with them. And so Swappa has these two marketplaces, the standard marketplace kind of for consumers to buy and sell phones, and for businesses to list their inventory. But then it also has this B2B exchange, and wholesale has connections to both of those platforms. And again, if anybody's got any questions, feel free to toss them in the chat here. But if not, we'll keep moving right along. So the back market integration, and again, these are all e-commerce integrations that allow wholesale to connect to your sales channels. They all operate a little bit differently. So it's nice to be able to talk about how the back market integration compares to Swappa and to eBay or to ShipStation and so forth. So the back market integration, the way that works is you import your listings that you have set up on back market into your wholesale account, and then you can map those listings to the SKUs that you've set up in wholesale with your product catalog. And so once you've mapped your SKUs from back market to wholesale in your wholesale product catalog, those listings that you have on back market can be automatically managed by wholesale, the listing quantities on those listings. So when you connect, say you connected an iPhone 7 64 gig space gray, and it's on AT&T's network. When you've connected that SKU to your SKU in wholesale, anytime you add new inventory or if you sell inventory either on back market or other marketplaces, or if you just created a manual order in wholesale. Wholesale will constantly and continually update this calculated quantity of how many of those iPhone 7s you have available, and keep updating back market so that you don't oversell. If you sell that inventory somewhere else, it'll update back market, and back market will eventually update that listing to, if you sell all of your inventory, your listing on back market will get updated to an available quantity of 0. And that's really, really neat for people who want to run just a consistent business, not having to dedicate an employee to going in and updating the quantities on these marketplaces. This is a huge deal that wholesale is constantly updating all of your listings once you have your SKUs mapped. So wholesale does that kind of SKU level, stock level management of your listings. And then just like the other e-commerce integrations I've mentioned so far, the orders that come through back market will automatically get imported to wholesale. And then when you export when you fulfill the order, basically, wholesale will automatically export the shipment tracking information back to back market to update the customer that ultimately purchased your inventory with what their tracking number is. So that's kind of the full featured back market integration that we have in wholesale. Our eBay integration works very similar, but again, there are still a couple things that are unique to it. So just like back market, when you connect your eBay account to your wholesale account, you'll be able to see all of your current live eBay listings. And then as long as you have those listings, the SKUs that are set to those listings mapped to SKUs in wholesale, wholesale can start automatically managing your stock levels across your listings on eBay. And that makes it super easy to be able to, again, not have someone going back and forth and managing all of these individual listings and what the quantity of available inventory is. And if you sell somewhere that's not eBay, say you sell on back market or Swappa, or you create a manual order in wholesale, you are not having to go back for every single item and update the listings that you have listed for those items on eBay. A couple unique things about eBay's integration, or our integration with eBay from wholesale side, is we have in wholesale this idea of IMEIs and of serialized inventory. So every single item you have in wholesale has its own unique page. And that's really powerful with eBay, because a lot of people are selling eBay items one at a time. And so they're using eBay. Maybe you have listings for fully functional stock on back market and Swappa, but your damaged stock, your stuff with cracked glass, broken screens, other issues, you're selling those one by one on eBay, because there are still people out there that want to buy those. And so what wholesale allows you to do is, once you create an eBay listing for a single item that's in wholesale, you can then map that listing to the very specific item that's in wholesale. And when it sells, you know exactly what item has sold. And so then you also don't go out and sell that item, because you can see that one's mapped to an eBay listing. And so that's kind of the power of these integrations. The eBay listing allows you to connect directly to one item in wholesale, and it's a much more fluid way to manage your device business with these integrations. So then eBay has the same features that our back market integration has and our Swappa integration has. So when orders come through from customers on eBay and your listings are selling, those orders will automatically import to wholesale for you to fulfill. And then when you ship those orders out, you'll either manually enter a shipping tracking number in wholesale, or if you've got ShipStation connected to wholesale, you'll be creating a shipping label in ShipStation that'll sync back to wholesale and then up to eBay to update your customer. And it'll update the order as you would expect it to. So that's our eBay integration. And then I think the last of our e-commerce integrations is one that we have with Sellbrite. And it's a neat integration that we only make available for folks that are already using Sellbrite, because Sellbrite has a pretty sophisticated system that we want to make sure our customers are already familiar with and understand before trying to use it, because it can make some big sweeping changes to their wholesale account if you've got everything mapped. But if you're using Sellbrite already and you're familiar with the system, just chat with us on the wholesale support team, and we'll be able to unlock access to Sellbrite. And the neat thing about Sellbrite, it's kind of similar to our ShipStation order import functionality, in that you can bring in your connections through Sellbrite to all of your sales channels. So Sellbrite's claim to fame is they connect to all of these various different sales channels that you might be selling on. They've got more native integrations than wholesale has, currently at least. And if you're already using Sellbrite to manage your inventory across various different sales channels, you might want to connect it to WholeCell if you've started using WholeCell for managing your inventory internally. And so WholeCell has a Sellbrite connection. You can connect your Sellbrite account to WholeCell, and it can map your SKUs. You'll have to map your SKUs, and then it can automatically manage. WholeCell will talk to Sellbrite consistently every 10 or 15 minutes and say, these are the updated stock levels of the various SKUs that we have in WholeCell. When you get sales and orders are created on your sales channels, they will get brought into Sellbrite, and then from Sellbrite brought into WholeCell. And then whenever you add shipment tracking information, just like the other integrations I've been talking about, that'll get bumped from WholeCell up to Sellbrite, and then from Sellbrite up to your sales channels to inform your customers about the fact that their order has been shipped. So Sellbrite is yet another way to connect WholeCell to many of your different sales channels that you're selling on, and it's great. If you're already using it, we have support for that built right into WholeCell. So that's Sellbrite. That's kind of the coverage of our e-commerce integrations to date. We have more on the docket that we're going to be building, but right now, those are all the native integrations that we support. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about our business process integrations, and the first one of those is Phonecheck. So Phonecheck is a really common piece of software in the used phone industry for testing the devices that you are processing and buying. So you're buying devices from your vendors. You'd use Phonecheck. It's a system level, like a native application that runs on your computer. You plug phones into Phonecheck and go through a diagnostic procedure and test the different functions of the phone. And then Phonecheck has a record of all of the test results of what you've tested on each device that's been processed through your warehouse. And you can import those test results into WholeCell. So your process in your warehouse could be, you have technicians that are testing the devices as they come in, the boxes of devices get unboxed, everything gets plugged into Phonecheck, all the devices get tested with Phonecheck, and then they get transferred from Phonecheck over to WholeCell to be managed from an inventory perspective. And so then they're transferred over to WholeCell, and then from WholeCell, obviously they're synchronized with your sales channels. So it's super easy to import inventory information from Phonecheck over to WholeCell. All you have to do is connect your Phonecheck account to your WholeCell account, and then you can either import inventory from Phonecheck via a list of the IMEIs of those inventories, or when you're testing phones in Phonecheck, you can test them against an invoice number. So you can say, these are from this invoice number, this invoice that we purchased from our vendor, and then you can just use that invoice number in WholeCell. Just type that in, and we'll bring in all of the inventory items that were checked with Phonecheck under that invoice number. And WholeCell has a pretty neat way of mapping. In Phonecheck, obviously, you can test a lot of different things about devices. In WholeCell, we can map those different things that you've checked to your conditions and your device details in WholeCell. So it's pretty easy to bring that information in, and then you go through a mapping stage and map it to all the values that you already have in WholeCell. So that's Phonecheck. Phonecheck's on the purchasing side, and we have a QuickBooks integration for accounting that is on both the purchasing and the invoicing side. So with WholeCell's QuickBooks integration, you can export the purchase orders that you have in WholeCell over to QuickBooks Online, and that'll get your POs into QuickBooks for accounting purposes. You can also export your invoices from WholeCell over to QuickBooks, and what's nice about that is you might be using QuickBooks already to send the invoices to your customers and to bill them for their invoices. You can send invoices using WholeCell alone, so if you're not using QuickBooks, don't fret. But if you want to use the QuickBooks integration, you're already using QuickBooks, WholeCell makes it easy with our integration to export your invoices over to QuickBooks. And then if you send those invoices using QuickBooks over to your customer, when your customer pays those invoices through QuickBooks' portal, that payment will automatically be synced back to WholeCell to mark the invoice as paid. And so that'll automatically update. You don't have to update that manually. Your invoice will get marked as paid in WholeCell. And in WholeCell, we actually have little automations that allow you to, you can create an automation that when an invoice is marked as paid, the order that it's corresponding to will get updated to being ready to ship. So you can create one of those automations, set up your QuickBooks integration, and really be off and running on kind of an automated system. So our QuickBooks integration is pretty simple. It's just handling these POs and these invoices. So if you have any questions about it, feel free to ask us, and we'd be happy to help. The last of our integrations to discuss is our ShipStation order export integration. So we've got this order export integration that's basically the counterpoint to our order import integration. And this is just the standard. If you're using ShipStation to create shipping labels for all of your orders, you're going to want to use this order export integration to take your orders from WholeCell and automatically bring them over to ShipStation. You can choose the behavior of how you want that to work. You can choose which statuses of orders should be exported over to ShipStation, and they'll export automatically to ShipStation through, I think, their custom store protocol. And so when you've got new orders, whether they're coming in from e-commerce or you're creating them manually in WholeCell, they'll be brought over to ShipStation, where your shipping team can ship those orders out. And when they create a shipping label for those orders, the tracking number from that shipping label will automatically sync back to WholeCell, so that if you're selling on e-commerce or these orders are coming from any other platform, that shipping tracking number can be sent to WholeCell, and then WholeCell can send it back to the channel to be able to update your customer about what the shipment tracking number is. So that was a kind of a 20-minute overview of all of our current integrations that connect WholeCell to other pieces of software. I just had that slide deck for you guys today. I don't have any demo because setting up these integrations can take a lot of time, and if we try to do a full overview, that would go on for hours. But I wanted to give a quick synopsis of each integration that WholeCell currently supports and what it does and how it helps. So if you've got any questions, I'll wait for a minute here and check out our chat box to see if we have any rolling in. Otherwise, to start a WholeCell trial, you can go to the URL that you see on the screen, WholeCell.io/trials/new. You can get a free 15-day trial. And since you've been on this webinar with us here, I like to add a little bit of extra time to folks' trials when they join after seeing a webinar. So just reach out to us on our live chat. Let us know that you saw the webinar, and we'll give you some extra days on your trial. If you have any questions, we're always available via live chat on the WholeCell website. And then we also have this email, support@WholeCell.io, for any help that we can give you on how to configure WholeCell for your business, or if you're wondering what the right workflow or process is to use for different parts of your business pipeline. So I haven't gotten any questions in the chat yet, so I'm going to end it there. Thank you, everybody, for the time, and we'll catch you in the next one.